Elsa, a character from the Disney movie Frozen, was a familiar face. That's probably an understatement. See, Frozen was a movie that was once amongst the top 5 highest grossing film of all time. Disney produced millions of merchandise such as t-shirts, bags, watches, bicycles, shoes, dolls, you name it. So as a Christmas gift, a lady bought a doll of Elsa for her great-granddaughter, the daughter of Emily and Matt Madonia. So for a few years, the doll was adored, loved, as expected from a 1-year-old. What little girl wouldn't adore a Disney character, right? Usually when a talking or singing toy starts to malfunction from wear and tear, the kids may grow out of it, or the family may place it somewhere in a storage or even discard it. Well, Emily and Matt, the parents of this little girl, had other reasons to let it go. The doll recited phrases from the movie Frozen and sang the song Let It Go when a button on its necklace was pressed. And for 2 years, it did that in English. The mother, Emily Madonia, said, in 2015, it started doing it in alternating between Spanish and English. It just randomly did it. The family has owned the doll for more than 6 years and never changed its batteries. The mother said the doll would randomly begin to speak and sing even when its switch was turned off. Eventually, the doll was thrown out in December 2019. A few weeks later, the family found Elsa on a bench in the living room. Everyone was spooked and started to think it may have been a prank. The kids insisted they didn't put it there, and I believed them because they wouldn't have dug through the garbage outside, Emily said. Elsa sang the song Let It Go in Spanish when the button was pressed, only in that language. Elsa was double bagged and shoved in the bottom of a trash can, which was taken on garbage day. Putting that weird situation behind them and probably brushing it off as a mistake, they decided to go on a trip, a nice little getaway. After they returned from their trip, the daughter went to play in the backyard and made a chilling discovery. Elsa welcomed them back home. Emily and Matt decided to mail the creepy doll to a family friend in Minnesota. Elsa was caged, then taped to a front bumper of their Jeep. According to Emily, the doll hasn't made its way back to the house. Yet. Here's a creepy story by a Reddit user by the name of Sin Aesthetis. I woke up. Clock says 3:34 a.m. I'm 17 and I'm in my bedroom. It's pitch black, but I hear some rattling downstairs. Terrified, I quietly tiptoed to my parents' room. Weird. It's empty. Where are my parents at 3:34 a.m.? I go upstairs to my brother's room. He's usually awake all night, but while the light is on, no one's in the room. So I guess whatever those noises are downstairs, it must be them. Why are they awake? Maybe someone died? I go downstairs. In the middle of my living room is what looks like 2 men stealing our TV. No one else is in sight. So I run back upstairs as quietly as possible, shut and lock my door. And suddenly there's banging on my door. I wake up. It was a dream, and the relief washes over me. I look over at my clock. Weird coincidence. It's 3:34 a.m. I'm shaking, but I decide to go downstairs to prove to myself that everything's fine. So I go downstairs. The 2 men are in my kitchen, screaming at my parents and brother. So I run back upstairs to my bedroom and lock the door. 10 seconds later, I hear banging. I wake up. It's 3:34 a.m. This time, I had actually woken up, and I don't manage to fall back asleep for about 36 hours. This is a story from a deleted Reddit user. A few years ago, I was walking through the woods and I smelled this really overpowering smell. Now, being nosy, I pulled back the undergrowth to have a look and I found a dead body. The guy had clearly been there for a while and wasn't looking great. All swollen and green and black with various running bits. I can tell the local wildlife had also been dining for a few days. I called the police, who told me to wait with the body until they arrive. Being in the middle of nowhere, it took a while for them to arrive and it got dark. And I just sat there with the dead body for a pretty long time. It turned out that he ended his own life. Now, although that's a very disturbing story, what's creepier is, for a long time afterwards, I had dreams. I had reoccurring dreams about him. And he would talk to me and he wasn't saying nice things. Mainly about how he was angry I had disturbed his resting place and he wanted me to end myself. Probably just my imagination, but all pretty disturbing at the time. Well, he still turns up in my dreams. And no doubt he will be in my dreams tonight after typing this. Here's a story from another deleted Reddit user. About 2 years ago, I was driving home from a family reunion pretty late at night. And the drive was about 2 hours, so I didn't stay the night because I had to be back for work the following day. Now, most of the drive was on roads with dense bushes and trees on either side, the real creepy ones you see a lot in horror movies. Anyway, I had been driving about 45 minutes, and I was starting to get really tired. You know how sometimes you just suddenly become really tired out of nowhere? Well, yeah, that happened to me. I knew I wasn't going to last, but I didn't come across any place that I felt I could park and safely sleep, so I kept driving. Anyway, after it became clear to me that I wasn't going to find a place to pull up, and my tiredness wasn't going away, I did something very questionable. I pulled over to the side of the road, onto the grass, behind some bushes, to try and hide my car from anybody else who was gonna pass me, and mind you, the roads were not empty. I came across another car every few minutes or so. I made a mental note that the time was 11:22 p.m. and then fell asleep. Sometime later, I was awoken by a scratching sound. I looked at the clock, 11:50 p.m. The sound stopped after a few seconds, and because I was extremely tired, I didn't bother looking around and I just simply went back to sleep. I was later awoken by the same sound, and it was now 12:40. This time, it really freaked me out because the sound didn't stop. The thought ran across my mind that it was just an animal inspecting the car, but why would it return almost an hour after it had left the previous time? I looked in my rearview mirror and just managed to catch a glimpse of something running away into the forest. Now, at the time, I thought it was the damn hook killer. You know, the one that scratched the couple's car, then slaughtered the guy when he got out to investigate? F that, I thought to myself. So I got the hell out of there. There was a bend no more than 100 yards up the road, and as I came around it, there was a freaking car parked off to the side of the road with the driver's side door opened. I slowed down just to look to see if anyone was in there, and there wasn't. Then I looked in my rearview mirror. I didn't see anything. Then all of a sudden, this guy comes sprinting around the corner. He starts screaming at me, shouting stuff like, "Hey! Hey! You! Get the out of your car! Now!" I hit the gas and sped off. I never saw the guy again. The moral of the story? Don't sleep on the side of a deserted road. It may cost you your life. Be safe.